Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my beautiful women of Qur'an now. All right, let's look at this. We are approaching the best days of the year, which are the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. And so the word that we should have in front of us right now is strive. Strive. That's what we're going to try to do these best days, right? That are starting next week. We need to strive. And so we can't strive unprepared, right? So what I would suggest, number one, is to look at your schedule. What is coming up for you? Any meetings, any things out of the ordinary that you have already scheduled from starting from Tuesday, I would say from Tuesday all the way to June 7th, right? So from Tuesday all the way to June 7th, look at what's going on during this window, okay? And yeah, now that you've figured that out, that you know what are the things that are coming up for you, the next point I would tell you is be very familiar with the Salah time of Fajr and Maghrib, especially. If you don't have a morning routine or evening routine, now would be a good time to set a powerful morning and evening routine for these best days that you could actually start enacting now. That's usually what I advise sisters to do also for Ramadan. So same thing here. These days are not to be taken for granted. May Allah give us tawfiq. So if you look at right now, this is what I'm going to do. I have 2 stickers here with every day of the week. And so what I'm going to put here are the habits that I want to, so I'll put here the habits. Let me see, you can't really see this. I'll put the habits that I want to have, what I want to do and engage in during these best days. And so for me, I'm looking at doing a bit more. I believe in baby steps. I believe in gradual. And so for me, I don't want to make so many goals that I'm not going to do anything with. But I still think it's very important to have great intentions because we are rewarded based on our intentions. So have the best of intentions, but let those intentions also be realistic, right? So because you really want, it's like an intention that you really want to do it. Now, are you going to be able to do it? That's something else. So, and I just said that, but I changed my mind. Even make the intention for Hajj, even though you don't know how, because you just never know. You just never know. Make the intention that you also, because that's one of the suggestions if you're able to go to Hajj. They haven't closed the borders yet. Make that intention. Bismillah, let's do it. You just never know in life. You just never know. You just never know. Subhanallah. Okay, so habits. Performing acts of worship. Of course, we are performing acts of worship outside of Ramadan. Outside of the best days. But we also want to make sure that we do a bit more, that we strive. Like I said, the word that we want to retain here is strive. That's the word you want to keep in front of you during these best days. Strive. So increase in your prayer, but not just the number, also increasing the quality of your prayer, right? So slow down a bit more, be more, take every position, every gesture in your salah with more mindfulness, right? Connect more with the meaning of what you're reciting. This will go a long way, even if you don't do more in quantity. But if you do more in quality, it's even better because Allah loves quality over quantity, actually. And so when it says increase in your prayers, I would say really focus on quality. The recitation of the Qur'an. I shared with you in a previous that I use this timer, and it's been such a game changer for me. I said, okay, I don't have time, but I have 10 minutes. Let me just put the 10-minute timer and read for those 10 minutes. And I do that throughout the day, and I get so much done in my recitation versus saying, oh, I need to put aside 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. That is like my brain goes, oh, we don't have time, right? But when I say, oh, 10 minutes, yeah, I have 10 minutes right now. Let me just open and read. That's been a game changer. So that may be a tip for you. Reflection, absolutely. Was just like the students, they're doing Sira with me, and we just went over the cave of Hira, and the reflections that we got from the cave of Hira is that there should be a place for seclusion for every believer. Really, there should be a moment in time where you are secluded. It's just you and your Rabb, and you're reflecting as well on your life, reflecting on your deeds. That's what the righteous predecessors, they used to do. They actually used to, at the end of the day, reflect on their speech and what they did, their actions. And they called it muhasabatun nafs. They did an accounting of themselves because they know that there will be a day where they will be accounted for. So they wanted to make sure they did the accounting ahead of time so they could adjust. And this is something that I really think we should be having as a habit during these best days. So like what that would look like, if you want to track, if you have something like this to track, then you could just put like I'm just gonna put muhasab, and I put a dot because I know what that means, right? And so I will check, oh, did I do it today? No. Did I do it today? Yes. Did I do it today? No. Did I do it? No. I could check it that way, right? And hopefully I'll be able to do it every day. Fasting. This is also the time to fast, especially the 9th day, the day of Arafah. Subhanallah, make that intention for the fasting, the day of Arafah. And if you can, make the intention to fast all the first 9 days. So fasting would be there as well. So fasting will be one of those habits. And again, your schedule, what you can and cannot do, your health conditions, but still make the intention, try, and then see, what you can do. Charity. This is also the time to give sadaqah, honestly, because basically these days, they're the best days. So whatever you're going to do of good during these days, there will not be another day of the year where it will be better to do it than these days. Subhanallah. So these are like prime time days for ibadah, for goodness. So definitely have a charity budget. If you're able to give sadaqah every single day during these 10 days, go ahead and do it, inshallah. Dhikr. These are the days of dhikr as well. A lot of remembrance of Allah, subhanallah. Even like the people of Hajj will be engaged in remembrance. We are going to be engaged in remembrance as well. And the takbirat, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. We need to say that, Alhamdulillah. We need to say it, Subhanallah. So Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, wa la ilaha illallah. Like we could just do these azkar throughout the day, like really reduce in speech, increase in dhikr. That's another habit that we want to get engaged in. And good deeds, of course, maintaining family ties, checking on your family, calling your family, supporting your community. And this is why I actually decided that I will reach out to a few sisters and give them free coaching sessions on, core wounds and needs, identify the triggers and how to deal with them. So recently, I've completed a certification in the integrated attachment theory with Thais Gibson, and this has been such a transformational training. I honestly have grown a lot in my the understanding of myself, because I'm one of the insecure attachment styles. I have one of the insecure ones, and I was able to include this in the 6-month group coaching program that we're doing right now with the sisters. And I see how this has really resonated with them as well, and how they like understanding, like not only how they are operating, but also how their spouse is. And so it's such important information. I really wanted to make sure that I include it in my coaching program, and I will be, inshallah, like I said, using the best days to also give some free coaching in attachment styles for the platform of Women of Quran now. So yeah, looking forward to that. In the meantime, enjoy these little clips from a live that we had this past Saturday. So save yourself and your family from the hellfire. Try to keep that in mind. There will be no change in your situation until you change what is in yourself. Keep that in mind. And then I less slave thinks I am. Keep that in mind as well. Three, to me, is such a motivation to go into personal development and work on yourself, right? We looked at like filling up our own cup and how important that is. Let me give you an example. For instance, imagine that you're very hungry. Okay, let's say you're hot, you're hungry, and then your child starts screaming because they want this, mommy that. How would you react versus you've eaten, you've taken care of yourself, and then your child is doing the same thing? Mommy. What would be the difference in those two reactions? Can somebody tell me? Would it be you reframe with the Quran and the Sunnah? That's the truth, right? I could have thoughts that could be wrong, but Quran and Sunnah tell me what is true. And so I said, no, Allah did not create all men bad. That's not how Allah creates, right? So there's some good, there's some better, there's some ugly. So that is actually what helped me come out of that cycle.
In a rise, it just all these things that we learned, it somehow goes out the window. And then the conversation template that I designed in my head that I'm going to talk with, it just does not happen very well. I know. And subhanAllah, it's a challenge, but we have to ask Allah to aid us as well, right? We ask, like, there's this word, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, which means there is no power, there's no way, there's no change, there's no change for a situation without the help of Allah. So, like, when you feel yourself losing control, then you have to go into dua mode, like asking Allah, even before you even speak to your spouse, if you think it's something that may, like, you just want to say, Allah, help me have the right words. I mean, Musa salam, when he went to Fir'aun, not that we're comparing our husbands to Fir'aun, but he said, Allah, open my chest, untie my tongue. I say it before every class that I teach, I say it because I want to make sure I'm understood. I want to make sure that, it's not taken the wrong way. So communication is really hectic. It's a really hectic thing, actually. Back to the template. So now so this is one of the ways that I want to support the community with this coaching. Then we come down to Hajj, right? If possible, perform Hajj, as these are the days of pilgrimage. So yeah, make that intention. Even though you may not see how you're going to go, just make that intention. The borders are still open. And then, of course, the sacrifice, which is a big pillar of these best days, on the day of Eid. And we have 3 days after the day of Eid to be able to do that sacrifice. Usually the head of the household does it for the family, but if you have the means, why not do it? Get that extra reward as well. SubhanAllah, there's so much that we can do, and it's just a matter of planning, having ideas, writing down, looking at your schedule, at your deadlines, at your commitments, and fitting those things in so that you also strive in these best days and you are among those people who did not take for granted the days of Dhul Hijjah. May Allah accept from us, may Allah give us the tawfiq to witness these days and to increase in the quality of ibadah for His sake and His sake alone. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned this in today's video because it's happening. May Allah accept. Assalamu alaikum.